Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right, welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. It is Patreon Day. Not only is it Patreon Day, it is the free Patreon Day episode on the 4th of July. You guys are probably going to see this episode probably the next day, if I'm being honest with you, because I know you guys are firing off those illegal fireworks, you know what I mean? It's all good. I ain't tripping, I won't tell the cops on you or nothing. It's all good. Hopefully you had a great 4th of July. If you're listening to this on 4th of July, happy 4th of July. It is a it's a good time to be an American, you know what I mean? For all my non-American listeners, it's just another fucking day for y'all, huh? Y'all just like, I don't know what the big deal about this 4th of July shit is, but you know what I mean? It's cool. If that's what they want, fuck it. But just because it's a holiday, it don't mean the train don't stop. The content train keeps it rolling, and we gonna give you guys a beautiful episode. Every first Friday of every month, you guys always get the free Patreon episodes. And so, without further ado, we gonna get on into it, baby. We got a juicy episode for you as well, so I'm excited. All right? So, today's thread is, what is the spiciest gossip you know that you are willing to share? All right, so let's see what spicy gossip you guys got going on for you, boy. I'm excited. Let's get on into it. Years ago, my friend's live-in boyfriend died in a freak accident. So her friend's boyfriend that was living with her, she went through his email to inform people and discovered affairs like he was in a literal sex club. He had even sent videos of him and my friend having sex to these people, including responding to requests for certain positions. He worked from home and he was so good about cleaning the house before she came home from work. To say this discovery complicated the grieving process would be an understatement. That's crazy. Imagine like your partner passes away and you're like distraught and sad over it, but then you find out that your partner wasn't exactly who they say they were, and you're like, wait a minute, hold up, like this man was a freak of leak. You know what I mean? This man was a freak of leak. Like, you like, hold up. Like, damn, son. Hey, I mean, I guess it's good for her that she was able to get out of the relationship, but it's bad that, homeboy had to pass away in order for her to find all that shit out, But hey, I goodness gracious, that's some spicy shit, bro. All right, so what is the spiciest gossip that you know that you're willing to share? An undercover cop in my hometown was secretly banging the biggest coke dealer in town. That's crazy. That's insane, yo. What? This motherfucker is supposed to be busting these motherfuckers, not sleeping with them, yo. And then the fact that like was he banging a dude or was somehow some possible way the biggest coke dealer in town was a woman? Not saying that a woman can be, but I mean majority of them aren't. You know what I mean? Let's just be real here. Like majority of them are dudes. So it's like, was homeboy, you know what I mean, having a bit of that little booty play or what? I don't know. All right, what's the spiciest gossip you know that you're willing to share? I used to work at a daycare, and the same guy was the boyfriend of the two moms. He'd come in with Rhonda in the morning to drop off their baby, and then he'd come in the afternoon with Susan to pick up her kid. That's crazy. They eventually found out wild behavior. That's wild. How did mans get away with that for so long, though? without getting caught? Or the better yet, how did he get caught? You know what I mean? Better question is, how did he get caught? Because my man seemed like he had a good little routine going. You know, I guarantee you it was a thing where when he was on his way to pick up Susan's kid, I think the other girl must have got out of work early or something and was just like, oh, I'm gonna pick up my kid and then I'm gonna get my boyfriend and we're gonna go do something, because I got off work early and I want to surprise them some. It's crazy how many times people get caught cheating over the fact that they want to surprise their partner. It's one of those things where it's almost like if you want to catch your partner cheating, just plan to surprise them. Just plan to surprise your partner. And I don't want to say 9 times out of 10. Let's say 5 times out of 10, you'll probably find them cheating, which that shit is crazy. You're just like, oh man, I got off work early today. They really didn't need a bunch of help, so they were letting people go. I got out at 4 hours. I'm going to surprise my man at his house. Go over there, man's blowing out another girl's back. Or, dude is like, oh, dude, I guess I wasn't on the schedule for today. That's cool. Comes home, his wife's sucking off another dude. I'm telling you, surprising your spouse seems like that's the way to catch them cheating. That's crazy. Man. All right, what is the spiciest gossip that you're willing to share? Mother from a girl in my kid's class cheated with the father of another girl. 6 months forward, they both get a divorce and start dating. Another few months forward, and the other parents who got cheated on started dating together. The girls are now double step siblings. What the fuck? I mean, I guess that's a W. You know what I mean? Because it's like they just swap partners pretty much. It was just like this dude and this girl, and then this dude and this girl, and they were just like, hey, how about you take my wife, I'll take yours, and then and vice versa. Like, what? Huh? I mean, like I said, for me, I think it's a W, but it is a little weird, for the girls, because they're just like, where's double step siblings? You know what I mean? Because it's like my mom is, dating your dad, and then your dad is dating that mom. Hold on. Because they're together, they have a child, and then they're together, and then they have a child. And then it's like the dad of this one gets with the mom of this one. And then the mom of this one gets with the dad of that one. So it's like they're in a way double step siblings, because it's like one of their parents is still, it's like, oh, your mom is now my mom, and then my dad is your dad, but your mom is also my mom, and then my mom is also your mom. Man, that's mad confusing. Let me know down in the comments if you can make sense of that, because that's mad confusing, bro. I can't even wrap my head around it. Oh, shit. Hey, damn. Yeah, at least I guess it worked out to some degree, All right, what's the spiciest gossip that you're willing to share? At a family gathering, my aunt got drunk and accidentally revealed that her youngest son isn't my uncle's kid. He's actually my dad's best friend's. Yo. That's fucked up. Oh, bro. Imagine, son. At her, yeah. So that would be, so the aunt revealed that her youngest son isn't the uncle's. It's actually my dad's best friend. Damn. So yeah. So the dad's best friend was out here fucking on his boy's sister while she was married to another guy. That's crazy. Imagine if you found out that your friend pretty much had a secret baby with your sibling, who's married, by the way, and then the whole time you're thinking that the person that your sibling married that's their child. And in reality, that's actually your best friend's child. Damn, son, that's crazy. I would be looking at my friend so sideways, bro. I'd be like, my nigga, come on, man. What are you doing? How did this happen? How did you patent this? And then how did you keep it from me? You know, because I live under the code of like, hey, you're my best friend. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, I won't tell anybody except for my best friend. You know, like that's my code. That's what, you know what I mean? But the fact that you're not telling me this, man, it's slight betrayal, but it's not, because it's not like you fucked my girl or nothing. You just banged my sister. You know? So it's like it ain't that bad for me. I mean, it's bad for her, but it ain't that bad for me. So it's like I feel some type of way about it, but I don't feel some type of way about it. So damn, that's crazy. All right, what is the spiciest gossip you know that you're willing to share? My boss and coworker were fooling around. He was married. She was single. One day, they go to lunch together. The woman calls the office about 40 minutes later in a sheer panic. My boss had a heart attack and died in the middle of their afternoon delight. Needless to say, the funeral service was awkward as fuck. Yo. So while he was out cheating and canoodling with the coworker, my man's had a heart attack, and she's over here like, oh my God, in the 911, guys, he's having a heart attack, blah, blah, blah. Well, what were you guys doing? We just went to lunch, you know, checkers. Like, like, bro, that's gotta be crazy. And then on top of that, finding out is like crazy too, because it was just like the very first scenario where, you know, for the wife, it took her man passing away for her to find out that her man wasn't really messing with her like that. That's crazy, man. Damn. Yeah, I bet that service was hella awkward. Dang. All right, what is the spiciest gossip you know that you're willing to share? This is like a 40-year-old work gossip from my mom, who worked at Disneyland as a ride hostess from the 1970s to the 1990s. Damn. All right, for context, when you're costumed cast, you check them out of the costume shop, though it can be a struggle to consistently find pieces that actually fit. Now, most people hold on to them and just wash them at home. Anyways, a cast member of Star Tours caused a crabs outbreak because she wore one of the jumpsuits without underwear. No. Dang, man. She was out here giving everybody itchy coochie. And you know what I mean? That's wild. Oh, like that old dirty bitch Sandra over there with her crabby ass coochie. Dude, that would suck, man. That would suck, just putting on a costume and then you go home and you're like, yo, my dick itches. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that shit. You're just like, yo, my dick itches like crazy, bro. What the fuck is this? You go to the doctors and they're like, well, yeah, sir, you have crabs. Because you gotta understand, you know, the 70s and the 80s, they didn't really, you know, shave like that. So they had the bush going on. And I'm sure, you know, in the early 90s, they still had the bush going on. It probably wasn't until like 2000s motherfuckers actually started shaving that shit off and realized that, you know, having a bush ain't all that attractive. Let's be straight. And so, I'm sure homegirl was bushwhacking it up in that costume. And that's what happened. Like, dang, man. All right, what is the spiciest gossip you know that you're willing to share? At my old job, two coworkers were having a secret affair, both married to other people. They got caught because they both called in sick on the same day and posted beach photos from the exact same location on Instagram.
Bruh.
Come on, man. Why do people call out of work and then post shit on social media? Like, that is the dumbest shit. To this day, neither returned to the office, and their desks were cleared out by HR without a word. Yo, they got fired over that shit? Damn. They got fired over that? That's crazy. Oh, that's all bad. The company was just like, yeah, see, look, we can't be having this infidelity going on around here, so y'all gonna have to go. Damn, that's wild. I didn't think they would get fired over it. Okay, sure. They were being stupid by, calling out and posting pictures and stuff like that. And everybody finding out about their damn near affair, but I mean, they didn't have to be fired, maybe transferred or some shit, but fired is wild. Man, I remember when I worked retail, and anytime, you would date somebody in the same store as you or whatever, they would just transfer you, and yeah, there was some times where there was some affairs going on, they'd be like, don't you know that motherfucker's married? And a lot of times it was like the girls going after the married dudes, and it was just like, bro, they're married, and the girl really didn't give a fuck. They're just like, nah, homeboy is fine, I don't care. And it's like, oh shit, and then they find out, but they never got fired. They would just get transferred to another store, and then you would see that bitch come in like her normal clothes and shit like that, trying to talk to him still. You're like, yo, this hoe don't give up. But yeah, damn. All right, on to our next one. What is the spiciest gossip you know that you're willing to share? My mother was an addictions counselor, and she had sex with clients. Crazy. Whoa. All right. Provided them alcohol, and one she brought to live with us. I was a kid at that time, and I had no idea what was happening or that I could report it. I feel bad for those folks. They were manipulated horribly. What the fuck? So what was it? Like, your mom just couldn't find normal people to date? And so she was just like, oh, you know what's a cheat code? Is banging psychos. Like, what the fuck are we? You know what I mean? Like, bro, she thought that was like a cheat code or something. She thought she was going to find her husband, banging some schizophrenic niggas. Like, what the hell is going on here? Because these motherfuckers, I guarantee you, had problems. Had some problems, and she's only exacerbating the problems by giving them alcohol and giving them drugs and all this kind of stuff. Like, what the hell are you doing? Man, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't get fired from her job, bro. Like, you're an addictions counselor, and you're just feeding these motherfuckers their addiction. That's why, and letting them bang you. That's crazy. What the hell? Hey, man.
She belongs to the streets.
Your mom belonged to the streets, bro. God damn, that's wild. Alright, cool. What is the spiciest gossip you know that you're willing to share? I worked in a grocery store, and one of the cashiers and a vendor had sex in the storage area, and a couple of weeks later, the vendor came in and yelled about how the cashier gave him the clap. Yo, he was like, yo, that bitch right there is dirty as fuck. This man came in and yelled about it. That be happening a lot of times, though. Like, the dudes who are the vendors that go to different stores like that, those dudes be fucking the most bitches. I ain't gonna lie to you, because they'll have girlfriends at different stores and at different locations and stuff like that. Trust me, I've seen this happen. There was a coworker that I was pretty close with and whatnot, and she had a baby with one of these guys. And she didn't know that at 2 other stores, and it's the same store franchise and everything, at 2 other stores, he had 2 other girlfriends that they didn't even know about each other. And then she found out, and she had told me and was just like, oh, like I guess had found out because one of the girls had filled in at our store, and so she came, she transferred over for the day, and then when homeboy came in, he was talking to her, thinking that his baby mama wasn't at work. But see, she wasn't on the schedule. She picked up some hours. Yeah. And so like I was talking to her, we were gabbing it up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, hey, isn't that your baby daddy? And she's just like, oh yeah, it is. And so she walks over there, and mind you, she knows, but she doesn't know that that's the girl that is the girl from the other store that he's, canoodling with. So he walks over, and she's just like, hey babe. And the girl is looking at her like, hey babe, who the fuck's this bitch? And homeboy's like, oh, this is my friend from this store, blah, 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 you know what I mean? And she's like, what do you mean? We have a kid together. And she's like, oh, a kid? Oh, you guys got a kid together? And he's like, no, it's not even like that. Like, the kid ain't even mine, blah, blah. And she's like, what do you mean? Yeah, it is yours. What the fuck? You signed the birth certificate. You named the kid, blah, blah, blah. And homeboy was and I was watching this shit too. If I had some popcorn, oh man, I would have been eating popcorn. I was just watching this shit, and then she came back over to me, and she was like, that's the bitch that he was cheating on me with, blah, 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 and this and that. And I was like, oh, I feel bad for you, but that was great to watch. That shit was wild. I'm telling you, these vendors, bro, they be wildin', son. They be wildin', because they be selling these girls dreams, bro. Hey, if you're a girl and you work at a grocery store, stay away from the vendors, man. Just date a dude that either works at your store or that works at another store or whatever. I'm telling you, son. And I wouldn't even date like somebody at another store, because what a lot of times happens is couples will get together because they work at the same store, and then one person has to be transferred out, and so the person gets transferred out, and then they're dating somebody at that store. And so, and obviously it's a thing where they don't really know, because they're like, no, that's not my girlfriend. Like, my girlfriend works at, store something. Like, that's why I got transferred. What do you mean? Like, that's not my girlfriend. But they just, that's like the side piece. And then they got like the main girl over there. It's, woo, working at a grocery store is insane, bro. It's insane, son. Like, the shit you see is wild. But yeah, that's my submission to the thread. Yeah, vendor was smashing bitches. God damn. All right, we're gonna do 2 more in the thread. What is the spiciest gossip that what is the spiciest gossip that you're willing to share? In high school, my married art teacher was having an affair with a student. Whoa. That was a cheerleader. She used to sneak into bars where his band was playing to see him. His wife finds out, they get a divorce. He marries the student? Oh, hell. They're still together with 2 kids, and now she's in his band that played at our high school reunion, bro. What? Bruh, I remember there was a thread that we did, and it was a while ago, but we did a thread a while ago where it was something to do with teachers. I might be able to look it up real quick here on the show, but it was something to do with teachers, and a lot of it was okay. It was no, it wasn't that one. It was a thread that we did, and it was mainly based around like teachers and shit like that. And it's crazy how often like teachers will actually, date and marry their students. Like that's something, we think of and we're like, ew, that's disgusting. You know what I mean? Like why the fuck would they do that? But it's way more common than you actually think. And surprisingly, I was blown away when I read that thread. I was like, bro, this happens so frequently. It's insane. Like, it's insane how frequently this happens. And so, I was so surprised. Like, and now, like, reading this, personally, I'm like, you know what? Hey, it makes sense. And then, right now, there's, like, this whole thing going on where, like, I guess a bunch of women are getting caught, that because they were having a relationship with, like, a lot of their male students. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Where were these teachers when I was in school? You know what I mean? Because I ain't going to lie to you, bro. I had one teacher. Woo! Oh, she was so fine. And that, man. Oh, she was a very young teacher, too. I'm not going to say her name or nothing like that. But, oh, man, she was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. I was like, yeah, I want that for Christmas, Mom. Damn. But yeah, dude, that shit is crazy. Marrying your student is wild. All right, this will be our last one for this thread. What is the spiciest gossip that you're willing to share? I started work at this telecommunications company back in the early 90s. One of our coworkers was diagnosed with 2 different types of cancer. Ooh. He had a lot of time off, claimed to be going to Mayo. Oh, probably chemo. Okay. It probably just, like auto corrected or something. It's probably he claimed to be going to chemo. Coworkers started donating vacation hours, illness hours, having fundraisers for his treatment, even through our healthcare insurance was really good. Or even though our healthcare insurance was really good. Something didn't feel right to me. I was harassed a bit about not donating, but I made excuses. Things are tight, newly married, etc. Plus, he claimed to have 2 cancers that, if I remember correctly, would be highly unusual to have together. No, this was not a metastasis type thing. Anyways, as I am sure you guessed, he used up all the donated hours and disappeared with the money. Trust your gut. Yo, this dude lied to all his coworkers about having 2 types of cancers, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna have to be in chemo, so I can't come to work, we got all this going on, blah, 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 like, pray for me, this, and that. And they're like, oh, no, we'll donate some money. Like, we'll donate a little $10 here, $20 here, whatever. Hey, I'd like to donate my sick time hours as well as my vacation time. So that way he can get the time off that he needs and he doesn't get fired and this and that. Only to find out that this motherfucker took a long ass vacation, took y'all money, because obviously he probably wasn't getting paid for being out. He might have been because of sick hours and all that kind of stuff. So, motherfucker was getting paid by the company through sick hours as well as he was getting paid. And there were other people's sick hours at that. And then he was getting paid by people who were going to work, making their paycheck, and they were donating. Damn, that's grimy. That's grimy as fuck. I won't lie to you, like, I know some coworkers that, they some old motherfuckers, they never show up to work, and I'm like, how the hell you still got a job? But I ain't never met a coworker that's done some shit like that, though. Man, and I don't even really be donating to shit like that anyway. I'm the same way. I'd be very skeptical of a lot of that stuff. I'm like, yo, look, man, I'm in the charity of me. I ain't gonna cap to you. Like, I ain't got it like that, so I don't got it like that to be given to other people. I wish I did. If I was in that kind of situation where I could, then yeah, for sure. But I'm not in that kind of situation to just be giving motherfuckers money like that. You know what I mean? Shit. I'm in the charity of me right now. Sorry, bro. So, damn, man. Damn. But that's going to go ahead and be the end of that thread, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that juicy thread. Woo! that was some dripping juicy for the free Patreon episode for July. My goodness, man. If you got some spicy gossip that you're willing to share, please put it down in the comments, whether it's coworkers, a friend, or some random this and that, or a friend of a friend, whatever it may be. Put it down in the comments, get a part of the thread. I'd love to hear it. All right. So this is the free Patreon episode. So patreon.com/MyLasshole podcast. $3 a month gets you an exclusive episode like this every single Friday. All right. So if you are loving what we're doing on the Tuesdays and Thursdays and occasional Sundays or every other Sunday, and you just want that little extra episode, you know what I mean? You're like, I've already caught up with all these episodes. There's not much more, for me to watch. I need something to kind of get me to work. I need something to put on while I'm cleaning. I need something to kill time, whatever the case may be. Definitely head on over to patreon.com/MyLasshole podcast. Where there is 100 hours of content over there just waiting for you. Just waiting for you. It's 100 hours. 100 hours of content that you can use to go to work, in the gym, if you're at work, you know what I mean? Just wherever you decide that you want to kill some time, you need your podcast, whatever the case may be. The Patreon is over there and it's waiting for you, all right? So definitely get on in there. Links down in the description. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all of the support. Bro, I was so happy and a little bit upset, and I'll tell you why. June was our highest month, and I mean our highest month of downloads. That was an amazing accomplishment. We hit almost 2,000 downloads in that 1 month, which is huge for a podcast that, is not even 2 years old. And that to me, I think is amazing. The fact that, to get 2,000 in 1 month is really great. It shows that we are definitely making growth. We are up on the come up. You guys are really enjoying the content that we're putting out, whether it may be the streams, whether it may be the just exciting episodes, the books, whatever it is that is your cup of tea, you're enjoying it. And I do love that so very much. And I do appreciate that because we almost hit 2,000. We were 4 downloads away, audio listeners. 4 downloads away from hitting 2,000. I was hoping we were going to do it. I was sticking close to my analytics, and I was like, we should be able to do it. I know they can do it. And we came up 4 short. So that's kind of where my disappointment came from. But I was, for the most part, extremely happy and so fulfilled. That was something for me that I was just like, oh man, there are actually people who are out here. They're supporting, they're sharing the podcast. They're really, getting the name out there and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, man, I aim to entertain you guys with this podcast. I want it to be something where, you just throw it on and you mindlessly listen to it. I never want it to be something, controversial or crazy or anything like that. You know what I mean? And I try to build this brand off my personality to where it's like you enjoy the content and you enjoy just me as a person, just being real with you guys and, giving my takes or whatever the case may be. I try not to use shock factor and what is it? Clickbait and all that kind of stuff. I try not to use all those tactics. I look at it like, this podcast can be a big podcast without all the bullshit. You know what I mean? What you click on is what you get, and you enjoy it. Whether you do or you don't, you know what I mean? It's like, I want it to be where you read the title and that's exactly what you get. I don't want to rely on like cheap gimmicks and tricks to get people to click on my video or to like my content or anything like that. I want it to be organic to where it's just like you guys like me for me just being me, and you enjoy the content because it's interesting, it's funny, it's entertaining, all of that. Like, that's what I aim this podcast to be. And the fact that I'm seeing more and more people month over month downloading the episodes, enjoying the episodes, coming back every week to watch the episodes, like, that to me means more than anything, and I do appreciate that so much. I really do, and I thank you guys so much for that. All right, you guys are super awesome. It only makes me want to innovate the content more and make it better and cater to you guys. So keep downloading the episodes, rating us 5 stars on the platform that you listen to, whether at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it may be. And then if you want to help us out even further, help out our mission even more, follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok. That's where I like to post clips a day before the episodes come out, so that way you get like a bit of a sneak peek before the episode comes out. And subscribe to us on YouTube, man. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm hoping that we can hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is my goal. It's not a huge goal, I understand. 2K subscribers ain't really all that, but I look at it like, by the time the end of the year rolls around, I'll be doing the podcast for at least, I would say, almost 2.5 years. 2.5 years at that point. And so, I look at it like, okay, that's a good, good goal to go for. And hopefully we can reach that goal. And I know we can. You guys have been showing a lot of support, and you guys have been really, really getting, excited about the content and everything that we have coming up. And we have our new book coming up this month. It's gonna not be next week, but it'll be the following week that we get into the new book. One of our biggest supporters, she actually gave me a great content idea for a live stream. Since you guys really love the books, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do another book. So aside from the book that we're going to be doing weekly, I'm going to do a second book, but we're going to do it on the live streams. Yeah, so I'm going to try to do it maybe on Sundays, and, we'll do a live stream and we'll do the book. And you know what I mean? It'll be kind of like a book marathon thing. So instead of like the 2 or 3 chapters that we normally do on an episode, these will be able to do like 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 chapters at that point. And you know what I mean? It'd be a nice book marathon, and we could really kill books. And and you guys can recommend books. It'll be a live stream experience. So, we'll go through the chapter, and then we'll talk about the chapter, you and I, and you guys can comment about the chapter and all that kind of stuff. Or even as the chapter is going on, you guys get in the chat and comment and stuff like that. I think it was an amazing idea. She came up with an awesome idea. So, I'm excited to start doing that. I'm going to try to do it as early as Sunday, if not Monday. I'll try to do it as early as Sunday or Monday. I got to kind of reconfigure the podcast setup, because obviously, if you've ever watched a live, it is still this setup behind me. It's just obviously from a different angle. You guys are seeing kind of what's behind the camera, the podcast cameras. And so, but when we do the book live thing, we're going to be doing it on this set. So we'll be doing it as this. You'll see, my setup behind me, and we'll be doing it off of the podcast computer. So, I got to set everything up and get it all ready to go. You know what I mean? So that way chat can be on screen and stuff like that. I don't know if we'll have the AI subtitles on there. I'm going to try to have them on there. But we'll see how everything works out. But it'll definitely be a test stream. So, I may have the stream go up and then it may go down. I'm only going to be streaming it on YouTube and TikTok. So those are going to be the only places I will be streaming it. I will try to upload it to, I'll try to upload the audio to Spotify and Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. It might be a little too long for some people, because it might be like a 3-4 hour thing. But I mean, I think you guys might enjoy it, just because the majority of it will be book content, and you guys seem to really like that. So you guys might like it. So I'm gonna try to do that, and I'll have a playlist for it as well. So once I like perfect it and I get it good, then I'll have a playlist for it, and we'll probably continue to do it week over week over week. And like I said, we can go like 3-4 hours. And we can just be busting chapters out, you know what I mean? And we'll talk about it. And it's cool because we'll be able to talk about it live right then and there. So look out for that. That's going to be something that's going to be pretty fun to do. I'm going to try to do it on Sunday. So look out for that live stream on Sunday. I'm going to try to get it done on Sunday. I'll be look out for that. That was an amazing idea. One of our best supporters. She's amazing. I love that girl. She definitely is always so involved in the content, and the fact that she gave me that idea was amazing. And if you guys have ideas, to help the podcast out, or something you may want to see, and I'm, if I'm able to try it, I definitely will. You guys can always put you guys' comments and concerns and stuff like that, or your ideas or criticisms in the comments. So yes. But without further ado, let's get on into our scenarios for this show. I know I did a lot of stuff, but we have a lot of cool things upcoming. There's a lot of things where we're innovating the content and really changing things up. So, I want to keep you guys informed, and definitely get in. If you guys want to get notified of whenever we go live, whenever we upload anything, definitely get in the Discord. All right, get in the Discord. I have a Discord. It's called Notification Center, and what it does is you join the Notification Center in Discord, and what it'll do is I have bots in there that will automatically notify you guys whenever we upload on TikTok, whenever we upload on YouTube, whenever we go live on any of the platforms, and there's all links there. Except for YouTube. YouTube doesn't have links. I don't know why. I'm trying to get the bot to have a link so that way you guys can click on the link and it'll take you either to the video or it'll take you to my YouTube channel. So I'm still working on that part of it, but everything else works. So there's a link to the TikTok, and then when I go live stream, there will be links to that. So all you have to do is just click it from the Notification Center, and then you're right then and there. So again, definitely get in there, get in the Discord. And the Discord is completely free. You just click it in there, you join it, all that stuff. It's right there, ready for you. If you're having problems joining it, definitely leave a comment, and then I will try to get you in there, and we'll situate it, we'll get it fixed, obviously. But yeah. And I did fix the link. I believe the link was wrong. We did a live stream, and I was having some people join the Discord, and I put the link in there, and they were like, oh, this link doesn't work. And I was like, oh shit. So we fixed the link. The Discord link should be working. I did fix it on previous episodes as well. So, you know what I mean? If you guys happen to go back to a previous episode or whatever the case may be, but on this episode, it'll say Discord link, and that'll take you to the Notification Center, and you can join it there. And then, you guys are notified whenever, because again, YouTube sometimes doesn't really notify you all that well. Twitch and Kick and TikTok and stuff like that, they just don't really notify you guys all that well when we upload content. And we upload content almost every single day, if I'm being honest with you. I would say Mondays, we do streams. We also have a TikTok clip go up. Tuesday's an episode. Wednesday is a TikTok clip. And then Thursday's an episode. Friday is the Patreon episode as well as a clip. I think Saturday is the only time I'm not really ever uploading anything, and maybe Sunday, so we're uploading content a lot, and I don't want you guys to miss out on that content at all. I want you guys to be able to enjoy that content. So that's what the Notification Center is for. So you guys can stay up to date with everything that we're doing. So definitely join the Discord, get down there, check that out. All right. Without further ado, now I'm done yapping. Let's get into the scenarios. I think I've eaten into too much of the time. So, am I overreacting for objectifying my girlfriend? Okay, it's a hard thing to explain. Basically, I want to share my girlfriend. In other words, like a cuck. We have experimented a little with it, but nothing too extreme. This man want to be Diddy. Come on, man. We tried her showing off and her showing off on Omegle, or Omi TV, which is an Omegle alternative. She would strip for guys on there and touch herself while I just watched and jerked from the side. I really enjoyed it and seemed like she did too, but we recently had a conversation about it and she sees it as me wanting to objectify her, but I don't see it that way. I understand the way she feels though, but I am having trouble communicating the way I feel. It's not that I am trying to objectify. It's like she is my prized possession in life and I want that to be known. Okay, the fact that you're calling her your prized possession is innately objectifying her. He's like, oh, I'm not objectifying her and I don't want to objectify her, but I'm objectifying her because she's my prize possession. And it's like, bro, you kind of shot yourself in the foot on this one, man. You know, I don't think you're going to have the people's side on this one, if I'm being honest with you, but let's keep reading. It's kind of like buying a brand new car. You wouldn't keep it under a tarp and tell no one. You would want to show it off. And to be honest, it is a bit of the same reason as most cucks too. I don't last the longest most of the time, and she likes it very rough, so it's hard to make her finish. Because of this, I'd rather her fuck someone that would give her that feeling of finishing and at last be included rather than it be through cheating on me. I mean, but that would just make her feel like this guy can sexually satisfy her better, so she would feel like, why am I with you? And then just leave you anyway. You know, like, I mean, I guess, all right, I understand her feeling of being objectified. Yeah, because you called her a possession, nigga. But it's really not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to just use her for her body. And I love just showing her face on its own because I really do think she's beautiful. But when her body is included, it's like a more extreme version of showing her off. It would be like letting someone actually drive your new car, which they don't own. I'd also like to make it a point that I would never make her do anything she didn't want to or consent to. But sometimes when we are getting really into it, it slips out as a fantasy. So do you think I am in the wrong or being super inconsiderate? Yeah, I do think you are in the wrong and being super inconsiderate. Look, I'm all... No. Hold on. Because I was going to sit there and kind of be nice and be like, oh, I'm all for people having kinks and this and that. No. Look, if I'm being honest with you, I have your kink, whatever. But when it goes this far, then it's like, okay, bruh, you know, regardless of consent and all that kind of stuff, you're putting her kind of in these situations that, again, she may do because she wants to make you happy, but she ain't liking it. You know, it's not her jam. It's not what she's looking for. It's not, and I guarantee you this relationship is not going to last very long for the simple fact that she's probably going to look at it like, bro, I don't want to do this. I get that this is your kink and this is what you want and all that kind of stuff, but it's gone too far and I don't want to do this anymore and I'm good. I want to have, you know, my man and I'm just sleeping with him and that's that. I get it. You don't mind if Tyrone and Chad Thundercock come in and, you know, pound her shit out so that way she can get the big O and all that kind of stuff. But again, it goes back to what I was saying where it's like she would then feel like you guys are sexually incompatible, and she's like, why the fuck am I having sex with you when, I can go be with these guys and they actually sexually satisfy me. They're not about to, let another dude smash on me or like put me in these precarious situations that I clearly don't want to be in. Like, again, and that's why I kind of made the Diddy joke where it's like, it ain't really a joke if I'm being straight with you. It's more of like, that's what he's doing. Because, if you don't know, freak offs were not these big ass parties that, Diddy was throwing out. Freak offs were simply, Diddy would call, actually Diddy wouldn't do it. He would have her do it, and she would call an escort. The escort would come over, and my mans would be in the corner beating his meat while she getting pounded out. And it was one of those things where, when Cassie and that other girl, I think her name was Jane, when they were doing this, the girls did it because they were like, oh, we love Diddy and all this kind of stuff, and we love him and we care about him, blah, 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 so we're going to do this to make him happy. But then it gets to a point where they're like, all right, bro, look, I'm just not into this no more. Like, I just want it to be just you and me. Like, I don't want to be, used up, because they feel objectified. They feel like, bro, I'm just this little toy that you just lend out to other motherfuckers, and on top of that, you paying these niggas too. So it's not only like they getting some booty, they out here fucking Deshaun Combs, Deshaun Diddy Combs girl, but they also getting paid by the nigga to do it too. So it's like, it definitely makes the girl kind of feel objectified, because she like, damn, I'm practically like a prostitute at this point. Let's be straight. I'm practically a prostitute, and you my pimp. And and instead of the nigga paying us, we paying him. Like, you see what I mean? How that just can be really weird and misconstrued. And that's why I think for her, she looks at it like she's doing this now because she loves you and she cares about you. But then the moment she starts to realize, like, you know what? I could go be with a dude who doesn't objectify me like this, doesn't make me feel like a prostitute, and I'm more sexually compatible with. Why not be with that guy instead of being with this dude who I'm not sexually compatible with, for one, and then for two is kind of just using me as a toy that he's just lending out to other motherfuckers. Like, and I say that because he used the analogy of, think about it, if you bought a brand new car and you let other people drive it. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you're pretty much, you already have that objectifying mindset. So it's not a simple thing where you can use nuance to say, no, I don't want to objectify her. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's like, well, you already said that you're objectifying her using those analogies. You know what I mean? You practically already said it. So it's like, you're already in the mindset of it. You're just kind of backpedaling it because you understand how crazy it does sound to somebody else. Because even just me reading it, I'm like, bro, that's crazy that you literally want to be Diddy. And it's wild that you want to do that. And like I said, I get kinks and all that, but there's a point where it just goes too far, and then it's like, all right, bro, this kink is too much. It's too crazy. I don't want to do this. And I think she's going to get to a point where she feels like, bro, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I can go get a dude who's not doing this to me and just wants to be with me. And that, again, and that's what happened with Diddy. Now, Diddy was beating on them bitches too. Okay, I understand that. But let's, in the correlation of that to this, it is the same in that context of, he's pretty much lending his girl out and making her feel like a prostitute and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't think homeboy is beating on his girl. I hope not, but, again, with his like mentality, he's already in that objectifying mentality where he's like, yeah, she's like my possession, he said that. That's like craziness. So yeah, man, you let me know what you think about it in the comments though. Do you think my man's an asshole? I'm sure you do. Or he's overreacting, whatever the case may be. Let's get on to the next one. All right, am I the asshole for thinking my sister transitioned to be a sugar baby? Uh-oh.
She belongs to the streets.
All right, I know the title sounds crazy, and I feel even crazier for thinking this, but from our conversations, I can't help but think this. So, my sister transitioned male to female. Oh, okay, so this used to be your brother, but now this is your sister. That's crazy. All right. Around 2 years ago, I was supportive, as I respect and love everybody no matter how they choose to live their lives, especially my siblings. We don't live near each other, so it's not very often I get to see her. But we got the chance to hang out this week. We went out to eat, and during this time, she told me she did sex work. Again, I don't judge. Times are hard. Then we went to the mall and she kept bringing up how she has a 40-inch butt and how when she wears a certain pair of shorts, her butt pokes out. I didn't mind though. I figured she was just proud of it and just wanted to tell me. We go back to her place and she puts on the shorts. So she's walking around with her booty cheeks out and she's making it very obvious that she wants me to see her butt. I just ignore her because growing up, she would always do certain things for attention. Yeah, that's what I figured too. I was like, bro, this is all attention right here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You're trying to be nice and, oh, no, I'm just let her live the way she wants to live. Nah, bro, she's doing all this shit for attention. Like, come on, man. Well, we get to talking about what she does for work, and she keeps mentioning how she wants to find her a rich man. She says she surrounds herself with other women that sell nudes so she can put that energy into the universe and it'll come back to her. How they also manifest that for her. Cool, no problem. This is where my issue comes in. Literally 2 years ago, my sister was deep into red pill content. She mentioned moving to an entirely different country just to find a wife because American women weren't enough, I guess. And if there's anything I know about these red pill people is that they hate women, especially sex workers. They don't hate women. They just don't respect women who do sex work because the thing is a lot of these women act like they have to do this. Now, there's a lot of women that enjoy it, 100%, but there's a lot of women who pretend like this is the only option they had when in reality, we know that that's not true. And then on top of that, it's like a lot of the women that are in that sex industry, they want like these top tier echelon guys when these guys are not going to choose them. Sure, they'll have sex with them, have fun with them, take them out to do this, that, whatever the case may be. There'll be a little arm candy or there'll be a little fuck toy for the week, but they're not going to get a relationship, nor are they going to get a ring. Now, will some of them get it? Sure, but that's like maybe one or two out of 1,000. You know what I mean? That actually will go somewhere and get something out of these dudes or get a long-term relationship. I mean, it's just the truth. You know what I mean? Again, women don't like to hear that because they think like, oh, no, it's possible and, oh, we can do it, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, look, sure, it's possible, but is it probable? Nah, not really. And they don't like that. They think that, oh, no, they hate women. And like, no, because there was even a situation that we had a couple weeks ago about that, where this girl was like, oh, the red pill is just men hating women because we have the choice of the men that we choose. And it's like, sure, you have that choice, but you only have that choice for the time being. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain age where it's like, guys don't really find you that attractive anymore. Well, guess what? Now you kind of in the pool of like, oh man, I might have to settle because the top tier dudes, sure, they'll take you out on a date. Sure, they'll hang out with you. They're going to treat you like a sex worker girl pretty much. Sure, they'll take you out on a date. Sure, they'll do this. You'll be a little fuck toy for a week, but that's all they're going to give you. They're not going to give you a ring and a marriage and a, picket fence and all that. They're just not going to do it. And it just is what it is. They're going to give the younger girl that. But they don't like to hear that, and it is what it is. All right. She also struggled keeping a job. She lives with our brother, so whenever she lost a job, it was his responsibility to make sure that they could keep their apartment. So my theory, as horrible as this sounds, and I'm very sorry if this is offensive to anyone that isn't my intention, is that she hated who she was as a man and hated how she couldn't live up to what a man was supposed to be. So she transitioned, got into sex work in hopes to find a man that could take care of her. Again, I know it sounds terrible and there's a lot of stuff I'm leaving out just for the sake of anonymity and length of the story, but I can't help but feel this way based off of what I know. So am I the asshole for thinking this? No, you're not the asshole for thinking this, because it's kind of a lot of the reason why dudes transition into girls in the first place, is because for one, they look at girls' lives and they're like, man, girls' lives are a lot easier than dudes' lives. And it's just the way it is, especially if you're an attractive girl and you decide to kind of, I wouldn't say market yourself on the internet, but you're very open with being yourself on the internet. But see, the thing is your sister, if you will, is not going to find what she's looking for, though. Reason being is because, for one, she's trans. I mean, I'm just gonna put the elephant out in the room. She's trans. No rich straight man is going to date a trans woman. Sorry. He's not even going to have sex with a trans woman. He's not even going to touch a trans woman with a 10-foot pole. I'm sorry. That may be harsh. That may offend you, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? I'm going to just be honest with you. He's not going to touch your sister with a 10-foot pole. Rich men have a lot of options, and they know that they do. They look at it like, bro, why would I get with a trans girl when I can get with a real girl? I'm sorry, that may offend some people, but that is the absolute truth. Those dudes are not going to touch your sister with a 10-foot pole. Sorry. And then, two, she's a sex worker. They already don't respect sex workers. Rich men in general do not respect sex workers. They just don't. They don't. Again, they'll hang out with these girls. They'll have sex with them. There'll be a little arm candy. There'll be a little fucked toy for the week, but then they get kicked right to the curb. And then she's sitting there talking about, oh, well, I used to have a rich guy. Oh, I've had a rich guy before. And it's like, yeah, sure, you may have had him to some sort of small capacity. But if I'm being honest with you, he didn't claim you. He was only hanging out with you to have sex with you. He just used you as the object that you pretty much personify yourself as. Let's be honest here, because that's what a lot of sex workers have to do in order to get subscribers to OnlyFans, get people to watch their content, whatever. They have to objectify themselves in order to do that. They have to do provocative dances. They have to wear provocative clothes. They have to show a lot of skin. They have to take very candid, loose nude pictures. Bro, you have to objectify yourself in the sex work in order to really do that. And so, these guys kind of look at it like, okay, cool. You're already objectifying yourself on the internet. That's fine. It's fine if I do it, and that's how it goes. And again, a lot of people are going to be so backlashy on this with me, but it's simply just the truth. I get why your sister transitioned. They transitioned because they obviously saw how hard it is for guys to get women. And so he looked at it like, why not be a woman? Women's lives are a little easier, so why not do that? They transition. Now they're looking for a rich man. That rich man, again, he's got options. He's like, why am I going to be with a trans girl when I can be with a real girl? You're already in sex work, so there's a big stigma on that. Not only is there a big stigma on that, but, again, it's the trans thing. You know what I mean? Like, why am I going to fuck with a trans sex worker when I can get a real female sex worker? It's just... There's just too much to that, and these hypermasculine guys, these rich guys, they're just not going to give that a serious relationship. Sure, they will some guys will entertain it. Some guys will, see what's going on. And, they may have little weird fetishes, or they may have, some kink or whatever the case may be, but it's not going to get them on one knee, even if she does find a guy who is rich and is, kind of doing a little something for a little bit. Again, it just ain't going to happen. And the fact that I don't think your sister's a sugar baby. She wants to be, but again, I don't think she is. Yeah, so that's a tough one. You know what I mean? We touched on a lot of controversial topics. Again, if you guys are against me on it, definitely let me know down in the comments what you think. Because, like I said, as harsh as it is to say, I just don't think your sister is going to get what she is looking for out of this transition. And when she realizes she's not getting what she wants out of this transition, she may regret transitioning into a girl. I hope not. I hope she's able to find some solace and some happiness outside of this idea of trying to find a rich man. Because trust me, it just ain't going to work. And I think you don't want to say that because you're too nice and kind of politically correct. And we've already established that. I already know that about you just from how you wrote this post, that you're very politically correct and you're far too nice. You're not going to tell her the realities, because think about it. You as a true female, you have a higher chance of getting a committed relationship out of a rich man than she does. Like, sorry. You know what I mean? That's the tough reality of it, Yeah. Say, one of these weird dudes is messing with her, you know what I mean? And then he meets you. He's most likely going to try to be like, nah, hey, how are you? Dang. Oh man, you're beautiful. Blah, blah. He's going to try to get with you because you're a real girl. You know what I mean? Like, just is what it is. So again, you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. I'm going to get off this before I got pitchforks at my door. All right. This is going to be our last one for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode so far. Again, patreon.com/AmITheAsshole podcast. Get that exclusive episode every single Friday like this. Every single Friday. You know what I mean? I like to do these free episodes for you guys so that way you guys get a little taste, a little snippet of what we do on Fridays. So definitely get on the Patreon. I love you guys all. Let's get into this last scenario, all right? Am I overreacting for not wanting to lend my sister my car again after she left it dirty and on low gas? Oh, yeah. Oh, hell nah. Hell nah. Just the fact that she left it on low gas. All right. If it's dirty, cool. I don't care. That's fine. But it's on low gas? Nah, bruh. Nah. Hey, man. Gas getting expensive out in this camp, and you using up all my gas, bro? You better come with my keys and a $20 bill. You know what I mean? Shit. All right, my sister Alba doesn't have a car right now, so a few times a month she asks to borrow mine. I've let her use it plenty of times because I know she's in a tight spot, but lately it's been bothering me how little care she puts into it. Last week she borrowed it to visit a friend out of town, and when she brought it back, the inside smelled like food, there were crumbs on the seat, and the tank was almost empty. I asked if she could at least clean it a little or refill the gas next time, and she rolled her eyes and said I was being uptight. Bitch, uptight? Alright, man. This weekend, she texted me again and asked if she could take it for another trip. I told her no. She hasn't replied since. My mom says I should let it go and help her out until she's back on her feet, but I feel like I'm being used. I don't want to be mean, but I also don't want to keep lending something that gets treated like trash. Am I being petty? Am I overreacting? Hell nah. No, because you need to look at it like this. Somebody who doesn't respect your property and your things, what they're going to do is destroy it. And that's exactly what she's going to do with that car. She's going to destroy that car. Whether it's running your brakes into the ground, balding the fuck out of your tires, the car getting stuck on the side of the road because, there was something going on with it and she happened to not tell you. You know what I mean? Or she crashes it. That's obviously the worst case scenario, but it's just like all the wear and tear she's putting on your car, all the mistreatment that she's putting on the car, she's going to destroy that car. And I think that I get it. Your mom doesn't understand because your mom looks at it like, oh, why not? Why can't you help her out? Blah, 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 blah. But you at that point kind of need to look out for yourself, and you need to tell your mom no. You know what I mean? Like, you're an adult, you need to tell your mom no, and be like, she needs to figure it out. If she doesn't want to respect my things, that's fine. But you are not going to have access to my things if you cannot respect them. I asked you simply, if you're going to use my car, you either clean it or you put gas in the tank. You didn't want to do that and you wanted to call me uptight. Cool, that's fine. But when the next time you ask me for my car, don't expect it, because it ain't going to happen. Because you can't respect my things, that's cool. I'm not going to put myself in a precarious situation because you can't respect my car and you wanted to crash it. Or you wanted to disrespect my car and now, I got a flat tire, or my tires are bald, or my brakes are going out. You know what I mean? Or my fucking, engine blew up or whatever. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, you are going to be taking on so much responsibility when you're already taking on a bunch of responsibility as it is. And no, you need to let her be like, hey, no, thank you. I'm going to just do my thing. She going to figure that shit out. I'll help her out in other ways. But again, you know what I mean? Again, you could try to help her get a car. You know what I mean? Try to help her with that. You guys can get a little bucket and she could drive that motherfucker around till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to happen. But no, I don't think you're overreacting at all. Not at all. All right. Yep. And that's going to be it for today's episode, man. You guys let me know what you think about that and all the scenarios we've gone over, as well as the thread. Again, patreon.com/My Podcast. If you guys want to get access to another 100 hours of content and episodes just like this, definitely get out on the Patreon. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much, man. Last month was our highest downloaded month. Thank you guys so much. That was awesome milestone to hit. I really appreciate that so very much. Let's make July a bigger upload or bigger download month. You know what I mean? Let's do our thing. Let's get out there. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support. Again, subscribe or follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Hoping to get 2K subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed already, definitely click the link down in the description. Get a part of that. If you want to be notified of when episodes go up, as well as just content in general, live streams, all that kind of stuff. If you want to be part of the live streams and say, you just don't really know when I go live, because my live schedule has been a little wonky. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, get in the Discord. Discord is linked down in the description. Join the Discord. If you are having problems joining the Discord, definitely leave me a comment. But it should be pretty self-explanatory. You just click on the link, join it, and you're straight. So, but yeah, get in there, check that out. That way you guys get notified of everything that we do, all the content that we put up. Again, in the notification center, it has links to everything. So when I go live, it'll have a link to it. When I upload videos, it'll have a link to it, all that good stuff. So I love you guys all. I will see you on Sunday for our stream. And yeah, we're gonna hopefully this stream goes well. I'm hoping it does. If it doesn't, we might have some technical difficulties and stuff like that. I'll try to work them out and figure it out. But yes, we will only be streaming on Sunday. We'll only be streaming on YouTube and TikTok. Okay, we'll only be streaming on those two platforms, just because I want to test it out. I don't know the limitations of this computer when it comes to streaming, so I want to kind of ease it in first, because I know like these computers, they can handle, you know what I mean, all the multi-encoding and all that kind of stuff. I also even have another laptop that I use for like console streaming. I know that can handle multi encoding and stuff like that, but obviously those are Windows computers, so I know they can handle it. This is obviously a MacBook, so I don't know if it can handle it or not. This is a pretty powerful MacBook. It's a MacBook M3, so it should do the thing, but we'll see. So we'll see on Sunday. Hopefully it goes over well. I do need to find a book that we're going to choose to, so I might do a stream tonight, so that way I can kind of ask you guys, what do you want to see on Sunday? Yeah, either that or I'll just find a book, and then we'll just kind of just get into it. And then if we decide to change the book up during the stream, we will. So we'll see. But without further ado, though, I love you guys all. Appreciate you so much. I'll see you guys on stream, and peace.